The scientific data shows us that since the Industrial Revolution and burning fossil fuels, that the carbon cycle has been interrupted. Carbon has always cycled through our Earth since the beginning of Earth, through the atmosphere and into rocks and plant life, and when that plant life decays, it comes back into the atmosphere as carbon dioxide. But what we're looking at now with fossil fuel use since the Industrial Revolution is the carbon that was in the plant life, organic matter, phytoplankton, for millions of years that got buried inside the earth. We are now taking those fossil fuels out and burning them. And so the carbon dioxide has always been with us, but the rate at which we're releasing it from burning fossil fuels is increased dramatically since like 1860. And it is a greenhouse gas. And it's a very controversial thing. I don't know why it's become so political. I think it has to do with money. But those are scientific facts in terms of the chemistry of what happens.
I do, in lots of ways. You know, with our consumption of fuel, with our land use, cutting down all the trees, as you know, happened in our neighborhood, creates, then we lose the environment for the animals. It creates runoff and grass instead of having forests and uncultivated lawns. So things like that.
Most humans, yes. I think there are some who are pro-environment and doing what they can to help the environment, but I'd say the majority of people are having a negative impact. I think, first of all, the sheer number of us is a problem. Just as we grow in size, the population is a problem for the environment in that we are, building more homes to accommodate the people, we drive more cars, and all of those things require, chopping down trees to build our homes and having greater fuel emissions when we drive our cars, needing to farm more land for our food, things like that.
Absolutely. More than anything else on the planet. Fossil fuels. We use too much fossil fuels. We're such excessive people, I mean, look at the highways now. 10 years ago, we could go to New York in under an hour. Now we can't go anywhere without getting stuck in traffic. Where does all that CO2 go? It's no good.
It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of time. I want to emphasize that. A lot of technology, money. It's going to take a lot of money. And if you've ever heard of the ecological footprint, Americans have a very high standard of living compared to most people on the earth. And it means we have to change the way we live. So that is going to be a revolutionary change. And I think it's going to take a long time. What we can do to change is really start looking, we know that there are renewable energy sources. That means they're going to be around for a very, very, very long time. Cleaner energy resources. But it just means getting off our addiction of oil and coal and natural gas and slowly transforming to these other energy sources. But it's a big problem and a big change, and it will be revolutionary. Two things. Change your incandescent light bulbs to CFLs and reuse. Don't go to Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts and consistently get new paper cups or plastic cups. Plastic is worse because it's a crude oil product. At least paper is renewable. But don't keep buying plastic and throwing it out. Get a water bottle. Everybody drinks a lot of water now. And keep refilling it and make sure that it's BPA free. But that's a simple thing. I see kids all the time coming in with their water bottles. They leave them around my room, and that is crude oil. That's crude oil, plastic. So that's a simple thing you can do.
I definitely think companies have a big carbon footprint, but I think that just everyday people can still do their part. If everyone was a little bit more aware, everyone was a little bit less wasteful, I'm sure we could cut back on our waste, on our garbage and things that go in the landfill. But I do think companies have a big part of how they impact the environment or don't, how they help it.
Like, think about how crazy that is, that we're not only burning it and it's polluting to burn, but if we use renewable energy, it's the way to go. It's the way to go. But there's too much money being made in the oil and gas industry to let it go.